Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a yoga posture called Adho Mukha Śvānāsana, Sanskrit for the downward facing dog. So that's the literal translation, coming from Adhas, down, Mukha, face, Śvāna, dog, and Asana, posture. So this yoga posture is very commonly practiced as a part of a flow sequence in yoga, such as for example in Surya Namaskar, the sun salutations, or in other types of Vinyasa flow. So when you're moving through a certain Vinyasa from warrior poses to plank, downward dog. Downward dog is very commonly a part of this sequence. So you can practice it like that, or you can practice the posture also on its own. This posture has quite a lot of benefits, and it's one of the postures that is really popular in the way that yoga is spoken about in the media. So it's like, oh well, where's your mind at when you're in downward facing dog? Or also very commonly when a yoga teacher says, oh, like find your peace, and it's like this idea that downward facing dog is kind of like a break posture. And sometimes when yogis are at their beginning stages of their practice, they don't feel the downward facing dog is a comfortable posture at all. And this has to do with many factors actually. Sometimes it's also just getting your body used to being in a certain posture and having this kind of like mental attitude of being at peace with it. And it also has to do with more simple things like having to still build up the strength to be in the posture, which is really not much required. And another thing is having the right alignment in this posture, because if you don't have the right alignment in this posture, it's possible that you will end up straining certain parts of your body. I remember the first time that I did downward facing dog in yoga class in, I think it must have been like 2007, back in my college years. And I remember being in the posture, and I had such a pain in my wrists, and I was struggling with it, and I was like looking over at my friend who had just introduced me to yoga actually, and I was like, oh, my wrist, like, you'll get used to it. And yeah, just moving through it, building strength, working on the alignments. I have soon after started practicing more and more, there was no pain in the wrists anymore. So it had to do with alignment and building strength. So that being said, what are some of the benefits of the downward facing dog? So on a physical level, it will stretch out the calves and the hamstrings, so really opening them up. It stretches your spine, and it also strengthens your arms and your shoulders and your upper back, and it allows you to help to also really relax the neck and become aware of the relaxation in the neck. So it's also quite grounding, and you can use it again as a break posture in between postures. So just practice it if you would like to open up the backs of your legs and strengthen your arms and your shoulders. The posture also has a few contraindications. So do not practice this posture if you have a neck injury, a back injury, vertigo. In some cases, like if you have a lot of diarrhea, it's better that you just don't do this posture. Likely you don't really feel like doing a lot of physical exercises if that's the case for you anyway. Also, there is a lot of debate about whether this posture is okay for pregnant women to practice. I would say, well, I haven't been through that experience myself, so I haven't looked into it enough, so I would just advise you to actually not do it, just in case, just to be safe, and consult with your physician if you have any doubts. Definitely not doing it in the later stage of your pregnancy, and always just consult with your physician if you have any doubts. Again, yoga is meant to help you to become healthier, not to create the opposite in you, and there are many ways in which medicine and spiritual practices do meet. So it doesn't have to be either or. that is part of this illusion of this duality. These are all things that can complement each other. Yes? So, how to practice downward facing dog? You can either start on a seated position. So let's say that you're on your knees and you would come to place the hands in front of you, parallel in line with your shoulders, pressing all the fingertips into the mat. Then you come up on your feet. If possible, you have the heels touching. You notice that the further you, depending on your flexibility, if you go more to the back, they might lift. So I don't have a lot of elasticity or flexibility in my Achilles or like the backs of my ankles. So I'm working on that so they don't fully touch, but if you step a little bit closer, they might touch. But so what's the right distance? Because you don't want to be too close and you don't want to be too far either when you're in this awkward kind of a plank. So a good measure is if you are in like tabletop with the knees under your hips and the hands under your shoulders, and then from there getting into the posture. This would be a good measure for downward facing dog. So in it you can play around and walk around, but from here, this can also be a starting position. Then you also get the proportions or measurements, right? Come here. So now a few things. My feet are in line with my hips, so they're not too far apart or too close. Again, you can play around with it, but I'm just showing you the most basic posture. The backs of my legs are stretched, and it's like I'm trying to send my hips towards the ceiling. My spine is straight. And now another thing here, I'm pressing all of the fingertips into the mat, also the palm, so this way I'm not having a lot of pressure on the wrists. And I'm creating this elongating feeling, like I'm stretching through the arms and allowing that stretch to move all the way straight through the spine, really pushing the spine like away. So you don't want to be with slouched shoulders here. So if I do it like this, there's going to be there's a lot of tension coming here. That's not the point. So you really want to be pushing away, like away from the ears, pushing them. Basically, it's like you're trying to push yourself away from the mat with your hands and really trying to ground your heels into the mat. So the energy flow is it's coming into the arms all the way up that way, and then grounding into the mat. So there's this kind of like open circuits of energy flowing through you. Try to really find then, once you're in the posture, find that grounding sensation, that open circuit energy flow through your whole being, and relax your head down. Yes. To come out of the posture, you can come back down to the tabletop and come into child's pose. Relax. And hopefully enjoy the benefits of the practice. So, that's downward facing dog for you today. I hope you enjoy this practice. If you like this video, I invite you to please click like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to this channel to keep in touch and stay updated for more free yoga tutorials with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. May you be well, may you be healthy, may you be happy, and may you be free. Namaste.